This short video answers 4 questions about why effective cash flow forecasting processes require mature forms of integrated business planning in global manufacturers. It addresses the incremental capabilities integrated business planning provides and how it addresses key challenges to drive value creation. In so doing, it also explains why such integrated business planning processes are no different than mature forms of rolling forecasts. In other words, they're the same thing. It also explains why cash flow forecasting should be a key focus of chief financial officers, especially those pursuing finance transformation to drive strategy and value. Why is the accuracy of cash flow forecasting so important? Apart from the obvious benefits for Treasury, the accuracy of this process is a leading indicator of finance's effectiveness as a business partner. This is because accurate cash flow forecasts are an indicator of how well finance has developed a shared and collective understanding of the economics of a business, and how well it manages complexity in doing so. What's even more of a leading indicator is the ability to support cash-based scenario planning that can quantify how operational changes affect cash as well as profits, inventories, and costs. Conversely, the absence of such capabilities is a leading indicator of complexity-driven capability gaps that are caused by inadequate financial and operational integration. This is because, in global manufacturers, the models required for mature cash flow forecasting are the same ones required for supply chain planning and optimization. And such models require mature forms of prescriptive analytics. And without such mature models, manufacturers are unable to effectively manage complexity, which can erode profits by up to 5% of sale. And this potential for value erosion is what makes cash flow forecasting so important. Fully appreciating these messages starts with an understanding of the current state of cash flow forecasting in global manufacturers. Despite significant investments in a host of financial and operational technologies, cash flow forecasting remains a key challenge for them. What's being experienced is that none of these types of tools provide a full solution for global manufacturers. This is especially true of financial planning, budgeting, forecasting, and reporting software. While these software tools may be called different things by different people, the problem remains the same. They were not made for coping with the complexities of global manufacturers. The reality is that the effectiveness of these financial tools has been grossly overstated when it comes to global manufacturers. While they may support the needs of simple manufacturers, they don't support the more complex planning and forecasting needs of global manufacturers, either on their own or when combined with other tools to support integrated processes. What's being experienced is that critical capability gaps remain, which is one reason why integrated business planning, as well as other integration-related programs, have not delivered expected value and benefits. While there are many capability gaps that can cause such value erosion, 4 are the most critical for executives to understand. These are summarized on the screen, along with the required capabilities to address them. Each are described in more detail in a separate video. From a cash flow forecasting perspective, our focus is on the third one, and more specifically, the need for analytics to address inaccurate planning models. There are 2 types of analytics that support cash flow forecasting: predictive and prescriptive. Predictive analytics provides planning model parameters like demand volume and mix. Prescriptive analytics, on the other hand, enables the planning model itself. It uses the output of predictive analytics. In the case of demand forecasts, it translates them, along with key targets, into projected resource requirements, profits, and cash flows. While much attention is being paid to predictive analytics, prescriptive analytics is actually the one driving the most value by integrating financial and operational planning processes, especially because it is a key enabler of integrated scenario planning. When it comes to cash flow forecasting and financial planning processes in general, what's important to appreciate is that mature forms of prescriptive analytics are essential for coping with the complexity of global manufacturers. These types of prescriptive analytics are more strategic because they support flexible models and processes, ones that can be used in both financial and operational applications and processes across organizations. This is in contrast to tactical prescriptive analytics tools that support traditional supply chain and inventory optimization applications. While these may meet the needs of operations, they fall short of meeting broader enterprise needs. These modern prescriptive analytics platforms provide the means to support a variety of analytical applications, like those shown on the screen. But what really separates strategic from tactical platforms is the speed at which these applications can be developed. In addition, significantly lower costs of developing and maintaining them. These strategic forms of prescriptive analytics are essential for strategically focused integrated business planning processes that enable manufacturers to plan, manage, and govern outcomes. Without them, global manufacturers typically struggle to get beyond tactical integrated business planning maturity levels. These fragmented processes are often plagued by a host of interconnected challenges. Examples of these challenges are shown on the screen, two of which are cash flow forecasting and scenario planning. These challenges are ones that dominate the results of research studies. Further details about them and the maturity model are provided in separate videos. What's also provided in separate videos are details about the results of the research studies shown on the screen. Two things are common to them. First, they all depict forms of value erosion stemming from an inability to plan, manage, and govern outcomes. Second, they all stem from immature processes that can't effectively cope with complexity, the cost of which can approach 5% of sales. And more to the subject of cash flow forecasting, global manufacturers having inaccurate processes are least likely to have the capabilities required to resolve such value erosion. Which brings us back to our initial point, that cash flow forecasting difficulties are a leading indicator of complexity-driven gaps that are lurking below the surface of planning and performance management processes, ones causing interconnected challenges and value erosion. The key takeaway from this video is that cash flow forecasting can be a focal point for ensuring that finance has strategic forms of prescriptive analytics that can support mature forms of integrated financial and operational planning and performance management processes, ones that can cope with complexity while driving superior strategy execution and value creation. Thank you for watching this video. For further details about its contents, please feel free to use the contact information shown on the screen.